Join me as I push my limits and tackle the toughest motivational challenges to see just how far I can go. The only limits you have are the ones you've accepted. That's it. That's the whole game. It doesn't matter where you were born, who raised you, how much money you had, or what traumas you went through. You've either made a decision to break the rules of mediocrity, or you've become another casualty of comfort. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they never actually tried with 100% commitment. They walk around with a plan B stitched into their soul and wonder why plan A never works out. Let me tell you something you won't hear in your self-help books and your cozy little motivational seminars. You don't get what you want by wishing for it. You get it by taking it, owning it, becoming so obsessed with it that nothing can stand in your way. Every excuse you've used, your upbringing, your depression, your environment, your genetics, someone else had it worse and still won. So what's really your excuse? It's not your circumstances, it's your standards. You've convinced yourself that your situation is special. You've wrapped your identity in your setbacks like a warm blanket because it's easier to blame the world than to take full responsibility. You say things like "I can't because," and fill in the blank with some emotional sob story. But the truth, you don't want it bad enough. You don't want it like air. You don't want it like your life depends on it, because if you did, you'd already have it, or you'd be bleeding trying. You think billionaires got lucky. You think elite athletes were handed their discipline. You think the most dominant people in the world woke up one day with motivation. No, they made a decision, a ruthless, unwavering, aggressive decision to dominate. They trained their minds to be machines. While others slept, they were building. While others partied, they were mastering. While others cried about being tired, they put their head down and bled for their future. And now those same people are the ones you envy, retweet, and fantasize about becoming, when in reality, you're wasting time doing nothing while scrolling through the lives of people who decided they had no limits. What you tolerate becomes your reality. If you tolerate weakness, you'll be weak. If you tolerate excuses, you'll live in Excuseville. You tolerate being average and you'll stay average. Life gives you exactly what you demand, not what you hope for, not what you wish for, but what you absolutely refuse to live without. And guess what? Most people don't demand greatness because it costs something. It costs sleep, comfort, friends, and approval. It costs people, pleasing, laziness, and all the little dopamine hits that keep you soft. Greatness demands obsession, not interest. You can't be kind to your goals. You've got to live and breathe them. You've got to lose sleep over them. You've got to go broke over them. You've got to get laughed at, rejected, misunderstood, and doubted, and keep going. Nobody who achieved anything worth remembering did it with balance. Forget balance. Balance is a lie sold to weak minds. You want to change the world, change your family's name, change your legacy, then you've got to go all in. That means you outwork, outthink, and outlast every version of yourself that wanted to quit. Because the old you, that soft, emotional, scared version of you, that version has to die. There's no space for both. One of them's got to go. Either your old life dies or your future never lives. People say, "I'm doing my best." No, you're doing what's convenient. Your best would leave you unrecognizable. Your best would have your friends calling you crazy. Your best would have people talking behind your back because you're so locked in they can't even relate to you anymore. If no one thinks you've gone too far, you haven't gone far enough. There is no glory in normal. There is no pride in average. You weren't born to follow. You were born to lead. But to lead, you've got to dominate yourself before you ever think about influencing others. Every second you waste is a second someone else is grinding, getting stronger, hungrier, and more focused. And the moment you come up for air thinking you're doing enough, they pass you. That's how the game works. The world doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your trauma. It rewards results. Cold, ruthless results. You either produce them or you make excuses. The scoreboard doesn't lie. And when you look in the mirror at night, you know the truth. You either did what you said you would do or you didn't. There is no in between. Integrity is keeping promises you made to yourself. And if you can't even keep your own word, how do you expect life to hand you anything beyond scraps? There's a beast inside you, but you've caged it for too long. Society told you to be tame, to be nice, to play small, to not offend anyone. But that beast, that hunger, that edge, that's what will set you free. The world doesn't move for nice people. It moves for those who command it, For those who wake up every day with fire in their chest and steel in their veins. You think success is about being liked? No, it's about being respected. It's about being so disciplined that even your enemies admire you. They may not like you, but they'll fear the work you've put in, and fear is a currency. If you're not where you want to be, then you've got to become someone you've never been. That means doing what others won't. While they watch Netflix, you study. While they scroll, you build. While they waste, you create. Every day is war, and your enemy is mediocrity. You either win or you surrender, and most people have surrendered without even realizing it. They've accepted the 9 to 5 treadmill, the average life, the fake friends, the dead dreams. They call it normal. I call it death by comfort. You think you're tired. You're not tired. You're uninspired. You've let the world dull your blade. You've been feeding on cheap dopamine, soft entertainment, empty distractions. No wonder you feel hollow, because your soul wasn't built for shallow waters. You were designed to go deep, to dig, to grind, to struggle, and come out stronger. The pain is part of the path. If you can't suffer, you can't grow. You've got to embrace the suck. Every moment of discomfort is a test. You either pass it or you run. Most run. That's why most are broke, bitter, and forgotten. Greatness is forged in pressure. Diamonds aren't made on vacation. Warriors aren't built in luxury. You want the throne, then fight for it with your habits, with your discipline, with your mental toughness. You don't need more motivation. You need more action. You need to get ruthless about your time, savage about your focus, and unapologetic about your goals. You don't need more friends. You need more discipline. You don't need more praise. You need more pressure. And you certainly don't need anyone's permission to be great. People will call you arrogant for believing in yourself. Let them. The same people who laughed at you at the beginning will be silent when you win. Your job is not to be liked. It's to be undeniable. Your success is the response. Your work ethic is the comeback. Your results are the revenge. You don't fight critics with arguments. You fight with evidence. And that evidence is built in silence, in sweat, in late nights, in sacrifices no one sees. Until suddenly you've arrived. And now they pretend they always believed in you. That's how it works. Stop saying I wish and start saying I will. Stop saying I hope and start saying I create. The minute you own your life, fully, completely, without blame or shame, is the minute you become limitless, because the only real limit is doubt, and doubt is a liar. Doubt robs you before you even begin. It convinces you to stand still while others run. Kill doubt with discipline. Destroy fear with focus. You don't need confidence, you need courage. Confidence comes after the work. Courage shows up before the results. Be the one who moves first, who risks it all, who bets on themselves when no one else will. That's how legends are made, not through talent, through tenacity. You weren't born to survive, you were born to conquer. But you've got to believe that before anyone else will. You've got to move like it, speak like it, train like it. Show up every day like you're destined for something massive. And then do the work to make that belief real. Stop watching, start becoming. There are no limits. Just stories you've repeated too many times. Change the story, change the game. You already know what needs to be done, but you keep waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time, there's only now. The man who wins is not the man who has the best conditions. It's the man who acts despite the conditions. Everyone wants to wait for the stars to align, for motivation to strike, for the mood to be right. Meanwhile, time is slipping like sand through your fingers. The world owes you nothing. The clock doesn't care about your feelings. The universe isn't holding its breath for you to finally get serious. Every second you waste waiting is a second someone else is using to build, to conquer, to separate themselves from the crowd. Do you really think you're going to reach your highest level by doing what's comfortable? Comfort is the drug. It kills more dreams than failure ever could. The gym hurts, so you skip it. The business idea feels risky, so you delay it. The discipline feels cold and hard, so you choose pleasure. But here's the catch. Comfort always comes with a cost. You can either pay now with discipline or pay later with regret. And let me tell you something. Regret is a debt you'll never finish paying. It haunts you, eats at you, follows you everywhere. You'll smile in public, but when the lights go out, regret speaks the loudest. Regret whispers, you could have been more. You are not a tree. You are not rooted in failure. You can move. You can change. You can adapt. You can evolve. But most people won't, because change is painful. And the truth is, People will tolerate misery longer than they will face the discomfort of growth. That's the twisted reality. You've been programmed to settle, to conform, to be small. The system loves obedience, not excellence. They want you watching screens, not building empires. They want you entertained, not dangerous. They want you soft, distracted, agreeable. Because if you ever truly wake up to your potential, you become unstoppable, and that scares them. You think limits are real. Try putting a lion in a cage. Does he forget he's a lion? No, he remembers. And when that gate opens, he reminds the world exactly who he is. You've been caged by lies, by softness, by the low expectations of the people around you. But the gate is open. The door has always been open. You're just too comfortable playing tame to realize it. The wild, the hunger, the power, it's still inside you, waiting. But the longer you pretend you don't have it, the easier it is to forget it's even there. Most people will never see greatness because they hang around people who settle. The 5 people you spend the most time with are a mirror of your future. If they talk small, you'll think small. If they make excuses, you'll absorb excuses. You cannot fly with pigeons and expect to soar like an eagle. Cut them off. Be ruthless with your circle. Loyalty to weakness is betrayal to your destiny. The people who really want to see you win will respect your distance. They'll understand when you disappear into the grind, and those who don't, they were never with you. They were just around you. There's a difference. Discipline is doing what must be done, especially when you don't feel like it. The man who acts regardless of mood is the man who wins. Every morning you get 2 choices, rise and grind or stay asleep and repeat yesterday. If you're not embarrassed by who you were 6 months ago, you're not growing fast enough. If your habits haven't evolved, your results won't either. The elite live different because they think different, move different, sacrifice different. They don't chase dopamine, they chase dominance. You want freedom. Freedom doesn't come from feelings, it comes from consistency. It comes from saying no when your body screams yes to comfort. It comes from choosing pain now so you can live in power later. Most people want to be millionaires, athletes, creators, legends, but they live like slaves to their impulses. You can't scroll your way to success. You can't manifest without movement. You can't dream without discipline. And you sure as hell can't win if your default setting is later. Look around, everyone's looking for shortcuts. Everyone's looking for hacks. But the harsh truth, there are no hacks for greatness. There is only effort, repetition, consistency, and pain. Those who master boredom, who do the basics with brutal intensity every single day, those are the ones who rise. Not the loudest, not the flashiest, the most consistent. While others complain, they execute. While others flex, they build. While others sleep, they sharpen. Day by day, inch by inch, they build something no one can take from them. Power. People will call you obsessed. Good. Obsession is what separates the exceptional from the forgotten. You think the greatest minds in history were balanced. You think they lived in moderation. No, they were fanatics. They were consumed by purpose. They were unreasonable, and that's why we remember their names. If you want to be unforgettable, you've got to be unreasonable too. Reasonable people do reasonable things, and they live reasonable lives. But if you want to dominate, to break records, to rewrite history, you've got to abandon reason and embrace obsession. The world is full of noise. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has advice. Most of it is garbage. The masses follow trends. The few create them. You've got to decide. Are you a consumer or a creator? Are you here to watch or are you here to build? Because those who build get criticized, they get doubted, they get hated, but they also get results. And in the end, results are louder than opinions. Focus on outcomes, not approval. Let your success silence the noise. Let your work ethic embarrass the doubters. Let your results do the talking. The most dangerous man is the one who doesn't care about validation. He doesn't need applause. He doesn't need followers. He needs purpose. He needs progress. He needs pressure. He's addicted to rising, because once you realize your worth isn't tied to anyone else's opinion, you become free, and free men don't beg. They build. They don't shrink. They shine. They don't react. They dominate. That's the level you should be striving for. That's the standard. Anything less is betrayal to your potential. Every weakness you have is a signal, not for shame, but for action. If you're broke, it's time to study wealth. If you're unfit, it's time to master your body. If you're undisciplined, it's time to attack your schedule. Stop playing defense. Life is a fence. You've got to move like you're on fire. Time is your enemy or your weapon. Choose one. Every day you delay is another day you'll never get back. You don't have time to be lazy. You don't have time to be average. You don't have time to scroll, to gossip, to wonder. You only have time to build, or you'll be buried under the legacy of those who did. The pain you're avoiding is the path. Inside discomfort is the doorway to dominance. That awkward conversation, that early morning. That hard workout, that relentless schedule, that's the path. Your future lives on the other side of resistance, and the longer you avoid it, the longer you delay your breakthrough. Want the fast track? Do the hard things, want the shortcut, take the stairs, want success, earn it when no one is clapping. No limits isn't just a mantra, it's a mindset. It means when others rest, you rise. When others cry, you create. When others stop, you start. It means burning bridges to your old life and walking boldly into the unknown. It means betting on yourself so hard that failure is not an option. It means showing up when no one's watching. Training when you're tired, building when you're broke, sacrificing when it hurts, and pushing through when it feels pointless, because you know that's what it takes. You know the pain now equals power later. You are one decision away from a different life, one day of relentless action, 1 week of insane discipline, 1 month of total focus. Stack those days, stack those weeks, stack those months, and watch your life explode. Most people quit after 3 days of effort. You're not most people. You don't need motivation. You need a reason. You don't need a break. You need a breakthrough, and you don't need anyone to save you. You are the savior you've been waiting for. No more doubts, no more limits, no more waiting. The time is now. The pain is necessary. The work is mandatory. And the reward, freedom, power, legacy. You were not born to blend in. You were born to break through. Don't apologize for your ambition. Don't dim your light for weak minds. Don't settle. Don't stop. Don't ever lower your standards to fit in. Instead, raise the standard and force the world to level up, or get out of your way. You are the weapon. You are the strategy. You are the storm, and the world will either bow to your work or forget your name. The choice is yours. Choose domination. Choose discipline. Choose no limits. So here's the truth. The only thing standing between you and the life you were born to live is the lie you keep telling yourself about your limits. Burn that lie. Kill that story. Destroy that weakness. The world doesn't need another man who almost made it. It needs one who refused to break. You don't get to tap out. You don't get to make excuses. You rise or you get run over. Your future is not waiting, it's watching. And every choice you make, every second you waste, is casting your legacy in stone. So decide, right now, are you going to be another forgotten name? Or are you going to become a force this world cannot ignore? The limits are not real, but your potential is. So unleash it, own it, live it, no limits ever again.